Today, I wanted to talk about Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy, the 2017 game from Bennett Foddy. You play as this man who sits in a cauldron and tries to climb a mountain with a sledgehammer. And I think that's something we can all relate to. The Steam description sums up the game rather perfectly. Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy is a punishing climbing game, an homage to Yasuo's 2002 B game classic, Sexy Hiking. You move the hammer with the mouse, and that's all there is. And that's really all you need to know about the game. It's aggressively simple. There's no introduction, no tutorialization, no traditional narrative, and really, the only gameplay mechanic is understanding the dynamic between the sledgehammer and the environment. And that dynamic is what makes the game so enjoyable. The player is never told to climb the mountain, but with only the mountain in front of you, all you can do is climb. But for all its technical simplicity, the subtext of the game is actually rather complex. The mechanical implications of the mountain and the climber are only elaborated on subtextually. But that isn't to say that the mechanical mountain climb is less important than the metaphorical mountain climb. They actually can't exist without each other. And the philosophy that binds both of them together is actually the major philosophy of the game itself. Falling is failure, climbing is success, and to Bennett Foddy, both are equally important. And that's what the game does so well. It recontextualizes failure. If the player were to climb up as high as they could, and then fall all the way back to exactly where they started, two things have happened. Firstly, they've tried, which is the minimum level of interaction necessary for progress. And secondly, they've learned something that will help them succeed in the future. We often think of success and failure as two sides of the same coin, but Bennett Foddy proposes an alternative. An alternative where success and failure are the same side of the same coin, with the other side of the coin representing not trying at all. It's a sort of unusual mindset, but it applies to almost every aspect of the game. And whether the player succeeds or fails moment to moment really isn't that important. What's important is that they're trying, and if they're failing, then at least they're learning something from their failure. And within that mindset, failure becomes more than just something to get mad at. It becomes a fantastic teacher. And it's easy to become deeply invested in your climb up the mountain. Each individual success feels like a personal victory, and each failure feels like a lesson in technique and humility. No matter which challenges you face on your climb, you've worked to get there. So when it all comes down to a single moment that determines whether you succeed or fail, you're invested in it, and you want to succeed. And I think that's the effect Bennett Foddy was going for. As important as failure is, it's important as a teaching moment, something to ensure eventual success. And in that way, Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy may actually be the most earnest and introspective game that Bennett Foddy has made so far. As you listen to his narration and quotes that pop up on your climb, you begin to realize that he wants you to succeed. When you fall, he chimes in, but not to make you mad, instead to drive you right back up the mountain towards inevitable success. At the end of the day, Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy is one of my favorite games of the last few years. It's a fun and personal parable about the importance of both success and failure. But I think everyone who plays it will come away with their own interpretation of the game's unique message.